DC has got a lot of upcoming projects, and in this video, I'm more or less just ranking all the DCU projects James Gunn has announced, and the few Elseworlds titles we for sure know are coming. A lot of others we aren't sure what will become of them or if they'll ever see the light of day. And this is a video idea that comes from Exit over here, a good friend of the channel. He made this video just with the DCU projects last week, so you should go check that out if you haven't. Link to his channel and that specific video will be in the description. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the list. At number 16, in last place, I have Paradise Lost. So, my hype for this show, more or less, will depend on who the villain will end up being, because I really want Hades, and if it's anyone but Hades, I'm kind of gonna be pretty to it, because it's a Wonder Woman prequel, and I just want to see Wonder Woman. I don't really care about a prequel show. And plus, like I said, it's Hades, because I would love to see the DCU's interpretation of the character of Hades. He's one of the gods we didn't get in the previous DCEU, obviously. And I think he's a character that could tie into this greater theme of gods and monsters, and he's just an overall bastard in a lot of things I see, so I could see him playing well in multiple roles in this greater universe. Next up is Creature Commandos. It's really interesting that this is the show kickstarting the DCU. I do like that it's a James Gunn show. It's pretty cool that it's animated. I'll definitely be covering it on the channel whenever it airs. I'm hoping it has a lot of horror elements to it, given the characters that will be featured, and I'm just a really big horror fan overall. Other than that, I don't know much about the project though, so I can't really rank it much higher. Number 14 is Booster Gold, and this might get me into a heap of trouble with some parts of the DC fanbase because I know there's a lot of love for this character out there. Me and my experience with him, I'm not a huge fan. He can be overbearing if he's not written correctly, and that's what I fear. You've got to get the right writers for this show for it to be up my avenue at least. So that's really the only reason it ranks so low. I'm sure after I see some trailers of this, maybe it could move forward. We'll see. Number 13 is The Authority, and this solely ranks this low because I know literally nothing about them. I've just heard them compared to The Boys, and that really intrigues me. If they are like the DC version of The Boys, then I'm totally down for that. That seems like such a James Gunn project, and I get why he announced this as part of the slate. As of now, I know basically next to nothing about the characters of the Authority, though, so I can't really justify ranking it much higher. I am excited, I am intrigued, but I just know very little about the project and the source materials. I'm trying to be just in my ranking and not just a little fanboy geeking out. So at number 12 is the Arkham Asylum series. I am very excited for this show because obviously it's just going to be a bunch of Batman villains in Arkham Asylum, and that's pretty hype for me being such a big Batman fan. I don't know a ton about the show outside of that, though. I don't know what characters are actually going to appear and what characters aren't going to appear because I'm sure there's plenty of characters they are going to save for their films. Like, I doubt the Joker is going to be a main character in the show or anything, but it'd be cool to get like a Scarecrow or a Poison Ivy in this show to really anchor and spearhead it, perhaps. Maybe even in Harley Quinn. Maybe Harley Quinn is a psychiatrist in Arkham Asylum. There's a lot of different avenues you can go, and that's why I'm interested. Next is maybe the most interesting project on this list to me, and that is Swamp Thing. Why it's so interesting to me is Swamp Thing has never been a character that has appealed to me like a lot. I never really gravitated towards the character of Alec Holland of Swamp Thing. But this being a horror movie, that's what interests me. As I said earlier, I'm a major horror fan. I love horror when it's done right, when it's done well. And if this thing is done like a proper good horror movie, I'm probably going to love it. And it's like their perfect chance to make me fall in love with the character of Swamp Thing, something nothing has ever been able to do. I don't have anything against the character, but the genre that this movie is going to be in is why I'm interested and why it's not closer to the bottom than it already is. Breaking off the top 10 is the first of the shows to carry over from the DCEU, and rather this being a show that carries over, it's a character that carries over, that being Viola Davis's Amanda Waller. I'm interested to see what may carry over from the DCEU that's like the same in the DCU because I'm sure there's elements of that previous universe that are going to bleed into this universe. Obviously, her as Amanda Waller and obviously Peacemaker, but I'm sure there's some other stuff as well. I'm also interested in seeing how it leads into the new DCU, what new things and new characters it may set up. Viola Davis is just amazing. There's a lot of questions I have about the show. There's also a lot of questions I have about this next show at number 9 is Peacemaker Season 2. Basically, all the things I just said about Waller apply to Peacemaker Season 2. What threads are going to carry over, what threads aren't. I assume every thread that doesn't directly tie to the DCEU is going to carry over from Season 1, and those threads that are just connected to DCEU are going to be ignored and you're going to be expected to go with it. And I'm all down to go with it, baby. I'm just glad we're getting a continuation of the show because I love season 1. Kicking off the top half of this list at number 8 is Joker 2, Joker Folie à Now, if I was making this video before I saw the trailer, chances are this ranks lower. But that teaser trailer was so good. It didn't answer any of my questions about this movie. I still don't know what this movie is going to be. But that's part of what I love about this movie. I have no idea what it's going to be, and that fits the character of the Joker so freaking well. I love it. And that trailer, that teaser trailer, was just so damn good. Got glimpses of everything. It just looks like Joker is being insane as Joker should be. When Joker's getting chased by like the Joker we saw in the 2019 Joker. There's so many questions I have about this movie, and I have none of the answers. And I doubt I'll have any of those answers until I see the movie. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is pretty inspired casting, especially with this being a musical. How much of this movie will be real, how much of it will not be real. We still don't even know how much of the first Joker is real and how much of it is not. I love the first Joker though, so I was always going to see Joker 2. The teaser trailer definitely made me more excited for it than I was beforehand, and the factor that makes me most excited about it is I have no idea what the movie's going to be. The factor of the unknown, because that goes hand in hand with the character. Next is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now, it's about time we are getting another Supergirl movie. The last one we got was 1984, obviously. We are definitely due for a Supergirl movie. They've already found their Supergirl. We potentially already have a director for this movie. The script is done, and the writer of that script was sent over to write the script for Teen Titans, a movie I've yet to mention on this. And the fact that she was put on another project after writing this tells me that James Gunn and Peter Safran liked what they read in that script, which makes me very excited for this movie. At number 6 is The Penguin Show, and this is so high up simply because of Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell can do no wrong. This man has climbed his way into my top 10, potentially top 5 actors all time because of the work he's been putting in the past decade. This dude is such a good actor. He is phenomenal, and I still cannot believe that that is him as the Penguin. I don't see Colin Farrell at all in terms of visual and the performance. I definitely see it because he was so good in the Batman. I am so excited for this show. Speaking of the Batman, at number 5 is the Batman 2, and this is only above the Penguin because obviously Batman's in it. Robert Pattinson gave a great performance in the first one. I think the only thing that's officially confirmed about this movie is that we're getting Barry Keoghan's Joker back, which, yeah, of course we are. I don't know why they would introduce that thread in the first one and not bring it back at all. Doubt he's going to be the main villain. I don't know if the Clayface stuff is still true. It sucks that this movie got delayed a year, but it's still Batman. I still love the first movie, The Batman. Matt Reeves is still one of my favorite directors working today. If we get Colin Farrell back as the Penguin in this movie, that's just going to be an added bonus. If we get the Riddler back in this movie, another added bonus. There's not a lot of ways this can go wrong unless it just keeps having troubleshooting and it keeps getting delayed. It shouldn't get delayed anymore. It got delayed a full year, so if it does get delayed again, that's when I'm going to start getting concerned. I'm just gonna say I should have prefaced this before the Batman Part 2 entry, but this top 5, it was hard to rank. I am very excited for all 5 of these. But at number 4 is Superman. Now, part of me feels like this should be ranked higher because the whole DCU kind of lives or dies on this hill. Like, this movie has to be a success. And I have a lot of faith that it's going to be. I just have a lot of belief and trust in James Gunn. I think he knows what the fans want, whether they know it or not. I think James Gunn is the right choice to make this movie. Especially seeing as he is the one spearheading the entire DCU, obviously. He is going to set the foundation for this universe. And it being the guy that's in charge of everything just makes a ton of sense to me. People might want to nitpick like all the decisions James Gunn is making for this movie. They may want more out of this movie. They may want Brainiac, Lobo, all that. I'm not going to be disappointed if we don't get any of that. I still think there is the possibility of a swerve, but I think there's also the possibility that it's just a Superman versus Lex Luthor story. And that's perfectly fine. It's worked in the past. Who says it can't work again? We are 12 years removed from a solo Superman movie. That in of itself says so much. We should not be that far removed from a solo Superman movie. The character of Superman deserves so much more. And I think this movie is going to give him that spotlight that he so deserves. And even the other heroes that are going to be included in this film, I don't think they're going to take away from Superman. I think this is going to be a Superman movie, like James Gunn has said all along. Those characters are there to elevate the character of Superman, not to promote a spinoff or anything like that. They're there to make the world feel lived in, like Gunn has said he's going for all along. Number three is Lanterns. I am so excited for this show. This is the top ranked show on the list, and I can't wait. I think it's an ingenious move to make it star both Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. You get the best of both worlds. Me, I'm a Jon Stewart guy, but that's because I grew up with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Jon Stewart, he's the Green Lantern I grew up with, but I know there are Hal fans. I understand the Hal fans. I get why there are so many Hal fans. That's their Green Lantern. That's the beauty of the character of Green Lantern. You can get so many other lanterns incorporated in the show. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner showing up, a Kyle Rayner, a Jessica Cruz showing up, a Kilowog. You know, there's all these endless possibilities. But at the end of the day, it being a buddy cop detective story between Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan appeals to me so much. Like, that just sounds so epic and awesome. It's like a cosmic detective story. And that's very unique and not really anything we've seen before elsewhere. Runner up is the most recently announced film on the list, Teen Titans. As I mentioned earlier, the writer of Supergirl got the writing job for this movie, so the fact that they're giving another job this soon gives me a lot of confidence in both Supergirl and Teen Titans. Teen Titans just happens to have a character I have a lot of passion for, that being Robin. And which Robin will be a member of the Teen Titans, or will it just be Nightwing? Is Nightwing just going to factor in here, or will we get another Robin that's not Damian? Because I think that would be the smartest route to go, is to put a Robin that is not Damian on this team, and I would love for it to be Tim Drake, because we need some Tim Drake representation, baby. Come on, James Gunn, give it to me. But yeah, I mean, Robin, Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy are likely going to be in this movie. Will they use Cyborg? Will they not? I'm not sure. I would love for him to be a member of the Titans. I prefer Cyborg with the Titans more than I do the Justice League, but I don't really care where you put Cyborg. Who knows what other characters may show up, like Kid Flash or anyone else. Speedy, or Arsenal, or the Red Arrow, whatever you may want to call him. Speaking of the Red Arrow, you should click that subscribe button right now if you made it this far into the video. I think Teen Titans is like the perfect spot to put Blue Beetle. I think he'd fit really well into this film. And I think you could have a Robin and Nightwing in this movie. Like, Nightwing could be the leader of the Titans, and you could have Tim Drake as the Robin on the team. There's a lot of different things you can do with the Teen Titans, obviously. But at number one, of course, Batman, the Brave and the Bold. 1997. Does that year sound familiar to anyone? Oh yeah, it's the last time we had Robin in a Batman movie. It's been almost 30 years. It's about time. Thank you, James Gunn. We're getting a Batman and Robin movie. I don't even care that the Robin is Damian. We're getting a Batman and Robin movie. It's obviously number one for so many reasons. I love Batman. I love Robin. We're finally getting Batman and Robin. It's about damn time. That's all I need to say about this. I don't even need to mention that it's going to be based on the Son of Batman story, so there's like so much you can go into with Damien's training and the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul, Talia, like just this whole side of Batman that we haven't really gotten to explore in film before. We did a little bit in Batman Begins, but no one was trying to keep everything grounded. I mean, having Talia be the main villain of the movie would be pretty cool. You know, a film where Talia al Ghul is actually the main villain of the movie, and she's actually Talia al Ghul and not Miranda Tate. Like, oh, dude, there's so many things that they can do and explore with this movie, but bottom of the line is it's a Batman and Robin movie, and it's been almost 3 decades since we've had that, which is ridiculous. But that was my list. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Did you like my list? Did you hate my list? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.